really, really impressive on so many levels. The insight to, well, we're talking about how you connected the dots from a health perspective, but like, a lot of people have gone on vacation and had like an inspired moment over tea or a drink, but it's only 2023. So
True.
like that was only 5 years ago. 5 years ago was like 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And now that one vision you flipped into like a real company, you
Hmm.
know? Um, so what on earth, how on earth really, and what has that journey been like for you in such a, I mean, you really had to have started that in real time. Like you came home and you got busy. So
Facts. Yeah.
yeah, you had to. So, cause this is just such a short amount of time. So like how did that happen and what did that look like for you?
Yeah, I would definitely say I was my own sacrificial lamb. And I think that most people don't understand what true success is and what it takes to be successful is that there's so much sacrifice that goes into play. During this time, while I have been building the company, like in that 5 year period, I've been all these things. I've been the absolute poorest I've ever been in my life. And I've also been the wealthiest I've ever been in my life, all in that same time frame.
That's what maybe that's the name of the game.
Yes. And yeah, like I've had bouts of homelessness and then like now I have two homes 45 minutes from each
Mhm.
other because I have homes where my farms are. So like there has been so much that has taken place and so much sacrifice that has led us to where we are today. But what it looked like when I first got back to the States, it was like, okay, Krista, you have some savings. Let's try to supplement that by on from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. you're going to drive Uber, and from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. you're going to deliver groceries through Instacart. And then in the middle of the day, that's when you are pinky in the braining it and like getting to it. And that's literally what I did Monday through Friday. Like I just ran it like that. And then on weekends, I would go take volunteering opportunities wherever I could find any farm that was willing to allow me to come visit them. I would go do that, to do any type of like volunteering work and things like that. So I could try to get a real knowledge of like what it is I was saying I was going to become, which was a farmer, especially as an urban woman coming from and being black, coming from Philadelphia, one of the, the fifth largest metro by population in the nation. And out of nowhere, saying like I'm going to be a farmer, everybody's looking at me like I'm completely crazy, especially because I quit my job. So like that was a
Mhm.
voluntary decision. So
And
people
you
are
quit
just
your
like,
job to be a farmer. Like we don't know farmers like that.
yes. And it's like, how are you? We know farmers, the rhetoric that has been painted for us as a society when it comes to farming is that farmers are poor. Like that's what we are told. And I'm like, okay, but there's definitely, if food is what farmers do primarily, if food is what farmers have the power to create and grow, they basically have the ability to print money. Is that was my thinking. And I'm like, everybody has to eat every day. And there are some exceptions to that, but for the most part, everybody's eating on a daily basis. And investing dollars into doing so, especially in urban communities. So for me, it was like, make it make sense. And I
Mhm.
embarked on taking all the business knowledge that I had from this degree and from running other people's businesses, and then adapting that to now figuring out how do I learn the skill sets of farming and then bring both of those two things together, the operations of a business as well as the operations of farming, and
And the
create
business side, you're
FarmerJawn.
referring, sorry, you're referring to the on the healthcare administration side.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when you're handling that much money, you're
Money.
taking co-pays and
Oh, no, that's
reimbursement.
so real. That is a huge volume of cash that's really high stakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It doesn't really get higher stakes. Honestly, people's health and people's money all mashed up. Like, that is super real.
Yeah.
And God, the hustle too of really the discipline, you know, of carving out that time where you had to get your bread, you know, you do what you have to do, you drive. But really that time in the during the day must have been electric for you because that was your time.
Yep.
And I've been in that place, you know. Also, if it's not you know, I don't want to put you in a weird spot, but you did say something that I noticed, that which is that at times in your entrepreneurial journey, um, you've gone without your own housing,
Mm-hmm.
and the same is true for me actually. But I never really had the courage to like say that, you
Yeah.
know, to people publicly.
You're the first person
Um,
I've said it to, honestly.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I feel like this is
Because
the moment for people to know the
yeah,
truth.
right. Yeah, I agree with you because I really you know, that brings up a lot for me, but this being the first time that you've said that, like, you must feel that you are at a place in life where there's an adequate distance from that space where you're like, no, I can actually speak on what it took for me to create that distance. So what does it feel like for you to just kind of almost matter of factly say that? Meanwhile, I know when you were living that,
Yeah.
that was a completely different situation.